Hello everybody and welcome back to Estancia Lapacho. So in the previous video what we were doing was extending the boundaries of field number 24, which is currently a very small field, at least it appears to be on the minimap, but in reality, in virtuality, it is now much bigger. So what I'd like to do is actually lease an incredibly big drill. Something which you might think is a little bit crazy, and the recommended horsepower is 420, a rating of which we have no tractor suitable for. However, due to it being a very flat map, sorry, I almost forgot what it was then, of course it's a map, it shouldn't be too hard, not for this obviously, for the bigger tractor to be able to do this. So what we're going to do is, in fact, I might just refill it here first actually. We're going to take it up to the bigger field, and then we're going to use the smaller one, or at least somebody will later, to drill the extended field number 24. Let me just buy a few of these. Can we put, I think we can put fertiliser in too. Yeah, we can. So we'll get some of that as well. Because this isn't the realistic series, I'm just sort of messing around a bit, pushing things to their limit, but that's what I find fun. It's always fun to do that. So first of all, we can just have the mission of driving alongside every single pallet here and refilling the drill with their contents. So first of all we have fertiliser. We'll probably just straighten up first of all. It is wheat that we're planting, so I must remember to keep it set to the right crop type. And while we're doing this we might actually do a bit of contracting work as well. Okay, that's one. Number two. Fills up fairly quickly. Looks like I've got the perfect amount of fertiliser. Almost. About 90% or something. 88%. Now for the seed. I think 5 crates. Oh no, one of them is actually fertiliser. 4 crates will be fine. Because the field isn't gigantic, I'm just really wanting to try out the, what is it anyway? The Estrella 32. What's that, 32 foot? I suppose it must be. Which is a very big drill, if you haven't already realised, but I'm sure you have done. And behind one of these, it does seem a little bit crazy. The drop nose Massey Ferguson. In fact, yeah, that was pretty much enough seed and definitely enough fertiliser. So let's head up to the top farm. We'll swap over tractors. We'll put it on the. We'll put this tractor on the smaller drill, and vice versa. So, yeah, off we go. It is currently working at the moment, so I feel bad stopping it midway because I don't like to do that, as it just try and find its route and stick to it. If you restart the drill on a worker, it tends to miss a strip. So yeah, not something I like to do, but we're just going to have to, I suppose. I've got to say, this tractor is actually coping really well with this drill. Obviously it's not working or anything, it's just towing it. The extreme amount of weight on the back is just being coped with so well. So let's do a bit of off-roading. After all, this is a shortcut. So, well, this is actually field number 3. I'd like to buy field number 3. But as we discovered last time, it is very expensive. It's about 200 and something thousand pounds, like 220,000. That is just ridiculous, because it is big, but it isn't that big. Yeah, it is. But if you join this field with the other two, then it really would be a gigantic field. But would it actually be as big as field number 29? No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't even be close. That's interesting. Field 29 is the equivalent to field number 5 on the base game of FS17, Goldcrest Valley. It's about £1 million. Pretty expensive. But anyway, here we are. Dare I attempt to do it with this drop nose Massey Ferguson? What is the model? I think it's something like a 5713 or something. Yeah, I think it is. Dyna VT. So, I will swap it over in a second, but first, let's just have a bit of a comparison. The smallest star we can buy, and the largest. And just astonishingly, the largest is on the smallest tractor. It's like 5 times the size. Set to wheat, so that's alright. Off we go. Yep, it's definitely struggling. Definitely. Well, yep. But with the tractor in front, I don't think it'll be a problem. You see, that is what's incredible. It's like 420 horsepower requirement. This tractor is about 140-ish, and it's actually moving pretty well. But enough of that. We'll stop it there. We shall drop it off, and we'll swap over. Okay, so the other tractor is continuing, but it's soon going to be able to work, since this one is going to be taking its job. Wow, it can only do 1 mile per hour faster. Seems to be struggling just as much, and it's a much bigger tractor. 7719. Let me just check all this. We have got... Oh, it's going to be in leased items, isn't it? 130 for the 5600 series, and this one is 210. Both of which are still... Even this one is still half the required horsepower. Understandably, on a hill this would not even move. But yeah, not much of a difference between drop nose and this one in performance, although it is doing 2 miles per hour faster now. Look out, 5713. We're on the way. What a difference though. Just move out of the way. And unless this tractor finishes stuff off incredibly quickly, this drill will be planting field 24, but the other one might take over. The other one could very easily take over, in fact. So actually, just thinking about something. The bales, I created some bales. I think I did sell them. We should do some more bales very soon. As soon as we can harvest this field, which we're drilling now, we're going to be doing a lot of bales, and we're going to use the different homemade bale trailer. Not that this one isn't any good, because it is. It's very good. But it isn't big enough, and there is a bigger one. So, in fact, it's the exact same one which I used in Knaveswell Farm. Knaveswell Farm on FS15, I used... It's kind of a homemade bale trailer, but it isn't. It is a proper one. It's much bigger. It looks kind of crazy, but it's very useful. So I look forward to getting that into this series before the end. The end is in sight, but it isn't sort of round the corner. It's not just going to disappear this series. However, as you've noticed, the amount of episodes per week of it have dropped dramatically from about 3 to 1. And in fact this time it's been over a week since the previous video. But it's not just going to be like a series which disappears. It will be finished in its own time. So yeah, it's going to be... What are we on? 23, I think. Episode 23? Thereabouts. It'll be episode 30 or so when we finish. There's lots to do yet though. Every field must be harvested, that's my rule. And talking about that, we do actually need to do our sugarcane, so I should prioritise doing that today maybe. We could start, it would be a wise idea. But first, we need to set this off on a worker. You didn't think I was going to do it myself. This small drill. It's a good drill, but it's just too small. However, field 24, in its original size, is the perfect size field for this drill. Now I'm going to cut across here. A little bit of off-roading again. It's just quite a quick way of getting about... Oh, I should have crossed the other side actually. But it will do. I think we'll do this field as wheat as well. Oh, barley. We'll do barley. Keep it a bit different. But it can still be a cereal crop. So you can see exactly where I've ploughed. It shouldn't be too hard for the worker to figure out. I'm hoping. Yeah, it's a direct drill, so there should be no issues really. I'll set it off here because it does actually taper in at the end. Even this might confuse it a bit. I'll stay with it for a few minutes and then we'll deviate and we'll begin the sugarcane harvest. And I think we probably actually should... Yeah, we should start the first field which I created. Because we have done the other one twice and we've done it quite a bit. So just watching this, I'm just intrigued to see what it does. Hopefully it's going to turn around. Although, nah, it's messing up. I'll go up to the end and we'll go straight from here. That'll be the best idea. I don't know if it'll need some more seed. It probably will do. It does get through the seed fairly quickly. As for the fertiliser, just hold on to that much more. But you can see where the stubble is. That's the original field. Just if you didn't watch me ploughing this piece. I have more than doubled its size. So, definitely worth it. Now that should be fine. We'll keep an eye on the notifications at the top. And if it does start to flash up that it's blocked or something, we will obviously head back over there. How is that doing? Pretty well. That's good, good. Okay, so I would say this is the tractor for us today. What I'd like to do is actually put the trailers on the sugarcane harvester, because it would be simpler in a way. Just because we're going to be driving it ourselves. Obviously this field is way too tight to have a worker. It isn't ready yet. Wow. Maybe I've turned off the growth. It's not fast. It does take longer than normal crops. I think 3 times longer. So it's expected. In the meantime, I should probably give the cows some food, because we're going to have to obviously skip some time here. So we need a bucket. We have the log grab currently. I'm not too sure where I've put the bucket. Oh, they can have some water as well. Does the water tanker fit to the rear weight? We will soon find out. It does. So, we'll give them water first, even if the tanker is a bit high up. There we go. Emptying. They've taken a bit, not too much. So, what am I doing? Yes, this page here. Everything actually is pretty good. They have all the grass they require, obviously, because we have so much grass. They could do with silage or hay. We obviously don't have any hay pellets, so silage or hay, no. We have none of that, I don't think. Although, no, I think that's straw. Yeah, pretty sure it's straw, it is. So yes, we don't have any, I don't think, unless I did put some hay bales somewhere. But I'm fairly sure I sold them. Okay, so next thing is to take this off. Probably not the wisest idea to take it off in front of the trailer though. I wonder if we could get away with using that trailer behind the harvester. It might be a bit too tall, but it's worth a go. Definitely worth a go. The only issue is we're going to have to lease the harvester once again, which is a problem. But it's still cheaper than buying it. Yeah, trailer hitch. So although the money is being consumed quite quickly here, it will be back very soon. Oh, how's it doing? Look at the progress, very good. So there is our trailer. We've got the hitch on, which does add a bit of money to the machine, £800 more, which is unfortunate. And yeah, it's not going to work. Okay, a bit of a rethink there. I think you're going to have to put. I'd have to put a normal trailer behind the harvester, which I wasn't going to do. So what we will do is, providing the capacity of this one is smaller than the bigger trailer, which you would hope, we'll load this up. 28,000, yeah, that's much smaller. And then load this one up straight from the field. So I think I'm going to have something. We'll just have to use the small trailer, I think, just for the first headland, and then after that we can use this. Before we go, you can see this one is actually cracking on very well. It is nice to be able to use this trailer though, because I haven't used it before, and I think probably, except for this series, I wouldn't be using it anyway, because I don't really do much sugarcane, certainly not on the British maps. So this is really the last sort of opportunity in the next few weeks to be able to do this. Help see has stopped work unexpectedly. Tank is empty. In that case, we're going to have to refill it at some point. But It's not really actually, no, it is a priority, because this isn't even ready, as we know. So what I'll do is I'll put the speed to 120. It's probably easiest just to bring it back to the store, because the store is very close. So we'll bring it back with us and we'll take it over to the store, just to be able to refill it. Looking at it, it could do with some diesel too, but I'm not going to bother with that because it's just not even worth going back to the yard when we know that 64 litres is enough. But it is going to have to be done very soon. It's a bit steep here. Best to take it at an angle. That is a fertiliser pallet, I think. So yeah, we're going to have to buy one. It's going to take at least 2, I would imagine. Although it isn't that big. Probably just 1. We will see. How many do you take? 2, I would say. Exactly 50% each? Oh no. Oh dear. Bad judgment there. Exactly 100%, and in fact I think it is these ones which leave about 5 or 10% in the pallet. Or is it 10 litres or something? Like they're about to disappear. They're about to empty. But at least we have some more for the future. Well, I'll let the worker get back on with their job, and then hopefully by the morning it will be ready to the sugarcane will be ready to harvest. Because otherwise we're going to be sat around twiddling our thumbs, which won't be very fun. I could do this, but I wouldn't really fancy it that much. It's a job for a worker. I'd use the bigger one if there's no sugarcane to do. I should think most people who have used this drill eventually put on a worker, even if they start off using it themselves. In fact, I did. I started off using it myself. Not quite ready. Let's watch it grow. Come on, please. Grow! It's going to rain. Maybe the rain will spur it on. Nope. How many days? There we go. Finally. We'll put it to real time to make up for the loss of time. This is going to be fun. The headland... is that ready? Because it looks taller over there. Unbelievable. No, it isn't ready. Oh, it's so slow growing. This is costing us... There we go. Now it's ready. And it's extremely tall. Very healthy. And thanks to all the time skipping, we have now lost all of our money. But we'll get it back. I couldn't... Where are you going? Come back! Oh no, you're following. It's following. Yeah, well you don't need to follow, because we're driving this. All we need is a trailer. And I suppose the only trailer I can use to begin with is the very small trailer, just over here. But if it works, then that is good enough. Certainly should work. It's just, it's so small, maybe it's going to be... No, it can't be. It must fit underneath. It can't be so short that the conveyor belt, whatever its auger here, doesn't reach. In fact, looking at it, it's going to be perfect. Please fit. Thank you. Yep. That is a very good fit, in fact. Ah, good. The neighbouring farmer finally put a crop in their field. Meanwhile, half of our field is ready and half of it's not even planted, thanks to the time skipping. But there wasn't really an awful lot I could do. So let's get the headlands taken off first. I think actually it might be the first time I've used this myself. I've always used a worker in the past. But even this harvester is quite slow. Just the nature of the job, I suppose. Can't be taken in too much. It's such a dense and tall crop that it must be very hard to process. And you're already 30% full. Oh dear. Actually, I suppose I shouldn't really be focusing on the sign at all, because this side is accessible for a tractor to go alongside. So I should be going, yeah, I should be down the other side. Stop. We have just over half capacity left. Although I think there is a fence or something here. Yeah, there is. So we're just going to have to make do. Certainly productive. An extremely profitable crop. Here's a question for you. If you've ever played Platinum Edition of Farming Simulator, which I'm sure a lot of you will have done, what is the biggest field that you have planted yourself as sugarcane and harvested yourself as sugarcane? So you've done it all yourself. What's the biggest field you've successfully completed? That would be an interesting one to know. Oh look, a traffic jam. I wonder why that would be there. Not because of my trailer. Right, 95% full. I'll let the traffic go in a minute. There we go. Actually, we could actually have the tractor going along the road here, unloading. That would probably work. It's worth a go. Why is our money dropping so rapidly? Has an option changed or something? Yes, it has. Thought it might have done. Gone in cars. Green one. Oh. Fine, everybody. Off we all go. Let them pass. Let the parade pass. It's not like I can go anywhere anyway. My turn. My turn. Barging in here. Can't wait for the grass to grow. We've already had to wait for the sugarcane. Oh, look at that. Oh, where are you going? That would have worked very well had we had a worker with a brain. Right, are you ready? Let's see if this works. By the way, if I do clip the fence, it will spin the harvest around, so it's best that I don't go anywhere near it. Easier said than done. Obviously, I've planted the crop way too close. That is working really well. That is just brilliant. Until we get to the end of here. But it does sort out that problem. I just can't get over how productive this crop is. We have sugarcane coming out of our ears. Okay, you stop there, otherwise you're going to crash into the fence. And we need to somehow get out of here. I think it's about time I just had a rethink about this because, well, to be honest, the minus £10,000 that we have is due to buying fertiliser, I think, which it shouldn't have done. But we do need to get some money back in. So before this episode ends, we're going to have to sell quite a bit. No way am I finishing this episode in negative figures. That would just be foolish. So I would say the wisest thing to do is just to very quickly tip this load of sugarcane in the trailer. I'll have to go to the sugar mill or something. I'll also turn the engine off on the sugarcane harvester since it's clocking up the hours, which will cost us. And it's probably best to jump cut here. The work fees have reduced dramatically. I think the actual reason for dropping to minus £10,000 is probably a leasing fee for a tractor. Whichever one it wasn't cheap, but we can soon recover that money. So it's nothing to worry about. Already £4,000 back, and when we sell the full trailer, a really big trailer, it will be even more impressive. This was just a tiny bit of extra. And we're back. So this time what we're going to do is try and sort out the area nearest to the pit, because we can't get around there either. It doesn't matter as such, just because we can do it this way. It's just, it would be nice if we still had the Joskin trailer. I think, yeah, one thing which I've learned through playing Farming Simulator over the years is it's probably best not to sell stuff. If you get something, if you acquire a machine, unless you really are desperate to sell it, don't get rid of it, because you never know when it could come in handy. Because I thought the Jocelyn trailer wasn't really being that useful, but now it would have been perfect for this job. Totally perfect. So, yes, I think, yeah, I've learnt now to think harder about things to sell. I don't really think about things to buy though, because I just like to buy stuff, it's fun. If only in real life stuff was easy to buy. If only money was as easy to get in real life as well. Like these really expensive machines on Farming Simulator, you can just pretty much go and buy them. But in real life it would just be impossible. You'd have to save up forever and get loans and finance deals and stuff. But I suppose that is the enjoyment of Farming Simulator, because you can live the dream without actually spending any money, except for buying the game. But that isn't really something which is going to empty your bank account. As soon as we've got enough taken off here for the worker to turn around, and at the top end of course, then this field will be put on the worker. But until this is done, it's going to be a very slow process. What I could do is just pile this up in a barn here, scoop it up later, which I might do, so that you can't store it. That's the problem. You can't put it in a silo, but you can put it on the floor. Whatever you do, don't ask. Pretty much full. Oh no, one of the drills is empty again. Must be the small one. It does get through it very quickly. Now as for storage barns, that is something which we would struggle with here a lot, because this farmyard doesn't seem to have any sort of grain stores or anything, because it all goes in a silo. But as I've just mentioned, you can't put the sugarcane in a silo, so I could put it in the barn here and scoop it up almost straight away. Second thought, this is going to block the way. Should I put it outside? I really shouldn't do. We could just scoop it up later. Oh, you know what? I don't know what to do for the best. I think we're just going to have to tip it. All I have to do is just get a wheel loader. I can scoop it up again. It seems a bad thing to do, but I'm sure we can manage it. Otherwise this is going to take forever. Let's continue. That was a nice and fast empty. Much faster than going to the sell points. Now as soon as we can start to put stuff in the big trailer, things like that won't have to happen. I'm hoping that is enough space for it to turn around now. Because it won't have a trailer on, it should be able to just turn on the spot if it wants to. I don't know what the worker is going to do exactly, but that would be the ideal situation. So that trailer is going to have to come off now. It's going to have to be used at the top again, but to begin with there is no fence in the way, so hopefully it will be able to sort itself out just to begin with. But obviously if it does have a problem, we'll just have to harvest the top section as well before we can begin, which is probably the wisest idea. It's just I do want to get on here. We need to get some decent loads sold. We have to get the big trailer back here as well. Right, off we go. We'll see how it does. Hopefully quite well. I don't know if anybody else has noticed, I've probably mentioned this before, but if you have cruise control set, the 6 miles per hour cruise control actually has 2 notches. So you can see it's showing 5. If I put it to 6, that's 1 notch. Press up again, it's still on 6. So it has sort of 6.5 and 6. I think the harvester is 6.5. I can't say for sure. No, it's 6. It must be 6. There we go. Even that's a bit too fast for it. So obviously it's just making its own way at the moment. It will sort itself out. Where is this fence? Ah, oh, great, it is. It's pretty much straight away. It would be nice if the workers had the intelligence to reverse before the fence, but I don't think they do. Although it did, but it didn't have the intelligence to realise I was here, so it drove into me. So to put it simply, this field should not have been done with sugarcane, as a few people did mention, but it was just the crop of choice for this map. So what's it unloading into? We're here. So yes, it's going to have to be done, I think, just for the best. Look at that. This field has been completed. Absolutely fantastic. One very useful feature about the harvester is, because this conveyor belt moves, it articulates, it actually articulates the hitch with it, just so the trailer follows, but when hitching up, that can be very useful too, because it actually moves towards the trailer. That's one thing I've just noticed. But here we are, once again, let's continue. It is a bit of a painful job to be doing, I've got to admit, but it must be done, because until this is done we can't do it properly. And yes, we must make sure we're not in negative figures by the end of this episode. So that is a good incentive to keep going. Done. Right, let's see how well it goes now. Finally. I have been waiting all episode for this moment. So far so good, but will he be able to turn at the far end? That's the big question. I certainly hope he can do. Ah, I can't see the trailer. That's better. Right on the edge. 67% full. We definitely need to get the bigger trailer here, so we can do the high tip into it, which should look quite impressive. You can actually join two of these together, so you don't have to keep emptying as often. But of course that would be even more expensive. They do seem to be incredibly expensive, I suppose all the hydraulics and stuff. Well, one thing which is good is the drill was actually turning around fairly easily, or the planter, and that thing can turn on the spot, so there isn't really any excuses. Although, oh, that is very good. Except for it drove in the crop, but that doesn't really matter too much. We'll be full by the time we get to the top of here. Brilliant, so it is set up. It's all ready to go for the next episode. So, sorry if that was a bit painful, sorting all that out. It's a learning curve, creating your own fields. I suppose that is why Giants have already laid out some perfectly good fields, so we don't have to contend with stuff like this, getting stuck with the harvester. But it is a good thing to create fields, because it's a waste of land otherwise. Like if you start the save game again, if you start this map fresh, this is just a piece of wasteland. So it is making use of it. Right, that is full. 28,000 litres. I'll reverse back and prepare to unload. I'll put it about here. Here we come, the bulk carrier. Something like 66 to 68,000 litre capacity or something. Very good. We should be able to carry maybe 3 loads or so from the high tipper. And also, because I have cleared an entrance here, we should be able to take a shortcut. Hopefully. Although we might still be in the crop slightly. And if you miss the turning, you certainly don't get in. Although that's probably not a bad thing. Better entrance space. So here goes. For the first time, I'm high tipping with the bigger high tipper into the big trailer. We did have the small one before, but it wasn't very impressive. So it should be set up on my SEEDER side panel. There we go. Hopefully it's close enough, although it doesn't look to be. close as possible. We don't want any spillages. Brilliant idea, but it must just be so heavy on the hydraulics. Well designed, I suppose. And there we go. That is it for today. So yeah, bit of a funny episode, I suppose, but at least we have actually made some progress. I better sell it first. I'll sell the trailer load. Otherwise, we'll still be in negative figures. So I'll see you over at the sugar mill. So we've got to get at least £7,230, £31 going up all the time, to be able to end up in a positive number, which we should do because we have 28,000 litres here. But it is going to be close, I admit. Come on, positive number. Just about. £135. But at least it isn't negative. And very soon we'll be getting much more, thick and fast. It'll be a full load. So yeah, we'll have lots of money again very soon. So that's it from me today. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Until next time, see you again very soon. Bye for now.